What's up, Etsy sellers? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dave. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I do new videos all the time on Etsy, e-commerce, and personal success. In this video, I want to talk about 3 to 4 reasons why your Etsy ads may be failing, because the new platform is a little bit different and it requires us to approach it in a few different ways. A lot of sellers have been reporting recently to me and on forums, of course, that it is sucking up our budget. It isn't serving ads properly. It isn't making us enough money. It is decreasing our return on investment, etc. So I personally have still been profitable with Etsy ads, and I have been able to, tweak my current campaign to perform better. Not better than before. I haven't quite reached that point yet, but I have remained profitable this entire time. So I want you to think about Etsy ads in a different way, and I want you to start thinking about it in the ways that I'm about to lay out. I'm going to go over them very briefly, but however, I will be releasing an Etsy ads, resource and course in the future. So please click the link in the description to sign up for my emails. Or if you're watching this at the point where my resources are released, the appropriate links will be in the description as well. So number one reason on my list, at least, not the number one overall, but the number one reason on my list is your SEO, because you're paying for visibility on these keywords. So if you choose, it's simply put, if you choose the wrong keywords, then those people won't buy. And it becomes extremely apparent when it is spending more than earning more. So your SEO is honestly your strongest tool in this new Etsy game, in this new Etsy ad platform. It's your strongest tool because your SEO chooses exactly who you put your products in front of. So it's that simple. If something isn't working, if there's a few listings that are not working and are spending more than they're earning, then look at the targeting you chose. If this was any other ad platform, if this was Facebook ads, if this was Pinterest ads, if this was Google ads, standalone Google ads, you would, as an advertiser, you would have to stop that campaign or that ad or that product and look at the targeting you chose and go, okay, that did not work. What can we try that will work? Now, obviously, your SEO isn't the only thing involved with a product. Your photos come into play, your description comes into play, the ease of purchase comes into play, which brings us to the next one is your actual listings might be confusing. So people that are coming from like Google and other areas well, Google mainly, because that's where a lot of people don't want to spend their money but have to if they want to use Etsy ads now. If people are coming off of Google and aren't very familiar with Etsy ads or Etsy listings or how to shop on Etsy period, and there is some confusion with them in terms of your listing, maybe the variations. I've seen some listings on Etsy that are extremely confusing. The photo says one thing and then the variants on the side make me choose something that I really don't even know what I'm choosing. Or perhaps, your colors aren't matched up with the variants, which is, a fairly new feature. We used to not be able to do that, but now we can. Make sure if you have different colors or if you have different, whatever the variants may be that you can match up with a photo, do that. That way somebody can choose the variant and then have the photo switch over to see exactly what they'll get. And then, I've seen some listings where you choose the variant and there isn't a photo of what they will actually get. And these are all things that either confuse the customer or it just slows down that purchase path. And again, I'll go over these things way more in depth in my future resources. So please be sure to sign up for my email list or follow the appropriate links in the description below. But I'll move on to the next one to keep this video kind of shorter. So the second one was that your listings may be very confusing. And the third one here that I have is that your photos, they might suck. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Your photos might suck. It might be it may not be your specific photography skills. I'm guessing that if you can look at other people's photos and you can get a feel of what is good or bad. You can take decent photos for yourself, but it may not be your photography skills, or it may be. I'm not trying to sugarcoat this, but it also may just be how the photo is laid out, or maybe it is not as eye-catching enough. Maybe there's not enough dimension to it, etc. The main thumbnail image might not be enough to grab that attention. Everything else might be in play. Well, like your SEO might be the perfect SEO, and when your ads are served to this audience, your product is probably one of the greatest things they could buy in that moment, right? But if the photo isn't right, if the thumbnail image isn't, very eye-catching and very proper, then they might skip over you and choose your competitor, or choose some other random thing, or search something different entirely. So that's number 3 on my list, is that your photos, they might suck. And it's something that we all have to consider, and eat a piece of that humble pie, and look at our photos and say, okay, is there something I can improve on? If there is, then how do I do that? Do I need to get a DSLR camera? Do I need to up my prop game, get some more props in there? What is it that I need to improve on? Is it the lighting? Is it the composition, etc.? What it may be is different for every shop, but definitely, don't be afraid to take a bite of that humble pie. So, and the last one here on my list is a big one. It's a very big global setting. We don't get many settings with this new Etsy ad platform, which, side note, is rough. It's super rough. But if you look at eBay, eBay has this similar thing. It's you just choose a percentage of how much you're willing to pay if the listing sells from an ad, which is actually kind of cool. I would choose a higher percentage if I knew that when it sells, then I pay, rather than the other way around, right? So eBay doesn't charge you for their promoted listings, for their ads. You just choose a percentage of how much you're willing, an extra percentage of how much you're willing to give them if it sells through an ad. I think that's pretty cool. Maybe Etsy will move to that. Who knows? But that was just a little side note. Uh, the last one here on the list is budget changes. Anytime you change your budget, whether it be, a few dollars, or a lot, or a little, this happened on promoted listings as well, and it's still kind of tough to explain. I can explain it more in depth in the future, but just know that when you make a big budget change or a small budget change, the whole stack of cards gets shuffled. Everything gets shuffled. If it's a Jenga game, it gets wiped down and rebuilt, right? Whenever you change your budget, it has to re-optimize for whatever reason. They like to just change it all over again, and you have to wait another, in the past, 2 weeks with promoted listings, but now 30 days, around 30 days, to see, like, if your current listings and current budget is good, then you will see it perform the best at least after 30 days, which is tough to do as an anxious Etsy seller. I know, I feel your pain. You can probably feel my pain. We all share this pain, but you have to wait 30 days. Um, Around 30 days. Don't write my words in stone, but it does take longer because we're working with 2 different ad platforms now. We're working with promoted listings, and we're working with Google Ads. So it's like now we have to wait for all these different chaotic variations to align, and all these different stars and planets to align. So whatever isn't in Mercury retrograde. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you do have to wait a little bit longer. And when you change your budget, it kind of throws everything off. So if you're changing your budget too often, if you're freaking out, I used to do this before I learned these platforms, before I learned how to really buckle down. I would change it like every week, and I'd be like, this isn't working. This isn't working. I'm changing it. This isn't working. I'm changing it again. And that would actually result in complete failure, constant complete failure. So choose a decent budget, a good one, and not a super low one, $3 a day, $5 a day. That's not going to get you to where you deserve to be as an Etsy seller. $3 a day, $5 a day. I've heard some ridiculous rumors out there that say if you have $3 a day, then they won't do Google ads. I have no idea if that's true, but if you're banking on, shortchanging yourself, not Etsy, shortchanging your business because you chose to have your business on Etsy. So you're shortchanging yourself. If you choose to shortchange yourself because you don't want to participate in another ad platform, then that's not going to work out. Just don't do that. Up your budget to a decent budget. Keep it. Wait 20 to 30 days and see what happens. Along the way, along those 20 to 30 days, yeah, you can absolutely, have listings be turned off. You can, oh, this one isn't working. It's already spent more than my comfortable cost per conversion. I'm turning that off. You can make changes along the way, but keep the budget the same because things may get really weird if you start changing it too often. So that was it for today, you guys. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below your thoughts on your Etsy ad strategies, as well as sign up for my email or follow the appropriate links if you need help with Etsy ads, etc. So please watch my next video and have a beautiful day.